I'd like to begin our discussion today with a story related by Sterling W. Sill, an author in the book Upward Reach, found in Chapter 8, Build Well. And I quote, "We have heard Dr. Goodell's story of the house dishonesty built. It tells of a very wealthy man who had as a part of his household a young woman to whom the entire family were devoted. She was courted and finally married by a young building contractor. Then this wealthy man engaged the contractor to build him a house. He had the most famous architect draw the plans. Then, laying the plans before the builder, he told him that he wanted him to construct the finest house of which he was capable. He made clear that money was not an object. He pointed out that the specifications called for only the finest materials. Everything must be of the highest quality. But the builder had a little dishonesty in his heart. Thinking to make an extra profit, he built a cheap foundation. He used third-grade lumber where he thought it would not be noticed. He adulterated the paint and slurred over the plastering. He used imitation materials for the roofing. When the young man handed over the keys of the finished building to his wealthy benefactor, he was told that this house was his wedding present. It was not very long after the couple moved in that inferior foundation began to crack. The rain seeped through the roof and discolored the walls. Then throughout the balance of their lives, the builder's family and himself were continually reminded of his dishonesty. What a different house he would have built if he had known that he was going to spend the rest of his life in it." Unquote. So let's think about you right now. You've probably thought many things about you already today, haven't you? How do you become what you would like to be? Let's imagine you are the house you want to build. Like the builder in the previous story, you will need to draw your plans or blueprint for your house. As cited in Wikipedia, the famous Leaning Tower of Pisa, or freestanding bell tower, began to lean in the 12th century and is known for its 4-degree lean, the result of an unstable foundation. In an article by Rohr Engineering, dated October 19, 2022, titled "The Importance of a Strong House Foundation," I quote, "Buildings are only as strong as their foundations. A building's foundation plays a crucial role in its durability, but if they are not built properly, the building's durability and resilience can suffer. You cannot build a house without a foundation because it holds the entire house and carries the weight, and naturally the structure will only last for a short while without a solid foundation underneath." Unquote. In the interest of our discussion today, we will be talking about your foundation. Our next Basin Bite is self-management. You know, when you think about it, Basin Bison, the previous 8 Basin Bites plus our current Basin Bite of self-management may form the foundational principles whereupon you build your house, or in other words, you build you. Let's review each one of these foundational principles again. 1. Perseverance. 2. Organization. 3. Self-control. 4. Growth mindset. 5. Attention to details. 6. Test-taking strategies. 7. Flexibility. 8. Self-awareness. And now, number 9, self-management. Taking any or several of these foundational principles away from your house's foundation will result in destruction, chaos, and devastation, and will not be the real you. Each one of these foundational principles is essential. This week's Basin Bite is vital. Self-management, the management of oneself. Now let's examine self-management as one element of our foundation and what that means to you. Self-management includes the ability to successfully regulate one's emotions, thoughts, and behaviors in different situations, effectively manage stress, control impulses, and motivate oneself. Also, the ability to set and work toward personal and academic goals. The practice of self-management includes being able to assess your priorities. Remember the self-awareness unit we just went through? Set and work toward goals. Manage your time. Hold yourself accountable. Follow through with the task at hand, and most importantly, maintain your well-being. So please get out a sheet of paper right now or a notebook, as you'll be writing and drawing numbers 1 through 6. Would you number your paper now 1 through 6? Maybe leave a little bit of space between 5 and 6 because you'll be drawing a couple of circles. Leave some room in between each number now to write down some things. So let me give you some time to get that paper, to get ready, and to number 1 through 6. Remember, give some space between 5 and 6 because you're going to draw a couple of circles, okay? So here are some ways you can develop your self-management skills. Number 1, embrace your strengths. Would you please write down under number 1, embrace your strengths. Wait for just a minute while you do that. Once again, number 1, embrace your strengths. Write that down. So in embracing your strengths, you understand your strengths and you use them. Think about what you do best and how you do it. Identifying your strengths will allow you to apply them to your personal goals and relationships. So right now I'd like you to write down one strength you feel you have. If you're like some, you're just wondering what that strength might be. So I want you to pause a moment and ask or text your teacher, a friend, or a parent or guardian nearby that you can write down a strength they feel you have, or if you already know a strength, go ahead and write that down. Now, as you've written down that strength, I want you to examine that strength and ask this question. How does this strength help you with your personal goals or relationships? I'll give you some time to write that down. How does this strength help you with your personal goals or relationships? Number 2, would you write the following? Adapt to challenges. Please write that down. Adapt to challenges. You need to approach challenges with a healthy attitude. You can't control how we tackle things thrown at us. When planning for the future, acknowledge the possibility of challenges arising. Create an action plan for how you can solve potential problems that may pop up. Then you'll be better prepared to face challenges when they do arise by adapting your actions. Now, I'd like you to think about a challenge you are facing right now. Have you got it? Take a moment and write that challenge down under number 2, and take a moment and create an action plan on how you will solve it. So let's go ahead and write that challenge down, and what is your action plan to how you'll solve that challenge? Number 3, would you write down, understand your emotions? Number 3, please write down, understand your emotions. Okay, part of self-management includes self-regulation of your emotions. Being aware of your feelings will help you to maintain healthy relationships and attitudes. For example, leaders are able to recognize when they are frustrated during conflict with another individual, and being able to identify and understand your emotions is essential to interacting with others in a healthy, productive way. Make wise choices. Now, this question, what would like you to do is take a moment with a yes or no response. Do you take responsibility for your actions? This is under number 3. Do you take responsibility for your actions? And write down yes or no. Do you remember the Jim Rohn quote I shared with you last Basin Bite on self-awareness? Let me share it again as a reminder. Quote, if you want things to change, you have to change. If you want things to be better, you have to be better, unquote. Again, do you take responsibility for your actions? Yes or no? Number 4, would you write down set SMART goals? That's number 4, set SMART goals. Goal setting is an important part of self-management. Think about what type of lifestyle you would like. Then identify your goals and make an effort to work towards them. Set SMART goals and invest the time to reach them. It can be easy to put your personal goals aside for successful self-management, which includes bettering yourself by making time for things that you want. Okay, so let's write down a goal you would like to achieve by the end of this semester. Take some time now, under number 4, and write down a goal you would like to personally achieve by the end of this semester. Now that you've got your goal written down, you need to start working to achieve that goal. Are you ready for number 5? Here it is. Write down, prioritize your well-being. Number 5, prioritize your well-being. Well-being comes from being in sync with your emotional, social, mental, and physical self. If we could put these in 4 equal 90-degree quadrants, we would have a perfect symmetrical round circle. So like right now, in the space between 5 and 6, like I mentioned, you'll need a place to draw a circle, maybe on the back side of your sheet. And in the circle, will you draw 4 equal 90-degree quadrants? Now that you've got 4 equal 90-degree quadrants, take a moment and chart these 4 qualities in your 4 quadrants. In one quadrant, maybe up in the left-hand corner, write emotional. Quadrant upper right-hand corner, write social. Quadrant lower left-hand corner, write mental. And quadrant lower right-hand corner, physical. Do you have all 4 quadrants, emotional, social, mental, and physical now? Now I'd like you to draw another circle next to or below that first circle. Draw how your quadrants would look today. That's today for you, not like you'd like them to look. Like you'd like them to look would be like the one you just drew, okay? Maybe you spend a lot of your time socially, so your social quadrant may be 120 degrees. Or for example, you really do not like to study and learn, so your mental quadrant may be 45 degrees. Make sure your 4 quadrants of how you see yourself today add up to 360 degrees. Take some time to do this now. So if you got your second circle made, if you got your 4 quadrants drawn, what things now do you need to do to improve your well-being to make the 4 quadrants each 90 degrees? To be well-rounded and efficient in each of the 4 areas: emotional, social, mental, and physical. How will you go about improving the areas where you fall short? What goals will you set to initiate this change today? So how will you go about improving the areas where you fall short? Take some time to think about that and write it down. What goals will you set to initiate this change today? Thank you for doing that. Now, we're going to go on to number 6. Get ready to write down. Number 6 is social connections and support systems. Once again, number 6 is social connections and support systems. Now that you've got that written down, let's talk about it. Social connections are essential for your well-being. An important part of managing yourself is managing your relationships. Our relationships are a part of what makes us who we are and greatly shape our day-to-day lives. How you interact with others directly strengthens or interferes with your relationships. Making an active effort to spend time with friends and family or getting to know others will nurture productive relationships. Who are the people in my life who are my social support system? Let's write those people's names down right now. Once again, who are the people in my life who are my social support system? Thanks for writing those down. People are important in our lives, especially with our social support system. Ralph Waldo Emerson has said, quote, "The only person you're destined to become is the person you decide to be," unquote. Okay, Basin Bison, let's continue to build our foundations as we add our next foundational principle, self-management, our next Basin Bite.